Welcome back and welcome to the new video on history of microbiology. The microbial world, or the fact that microorganisms are found, the fact that there are organisms which are invisible to naked eye, was made only known when microscope was invented. Microscope was invented by Jensen accidentally. In fact, Jensen wanted to invent a telescope. By mistake, he invented a microscope, which he did not use further. He did not make it popular. But microscope was later made popular by two scientists. One is Robert Hooke, the other one is Leeuwenhoek. So thus, the microbiology as a discipline started only after Robert Hooke took up the microscope and studied the microbial world. So in 1664, Robert Hooke studied microscopic organisms and discovered a microscopic world. Later in 1684, Antonie van Leeuwenhoek also studied microorganisms, and this made the beginning of microbiology. And later, many other events occurred in microbiology, like for example, in 1798, Edward Jenner discovered the vaccination for smallpox. In 1864, Louis Pasteur studied spontaneous generation and proposed the theory of biogenesis. In 1884, Robert Koch devised the methods of growing bacteria, gave Koch postulates. In 1889, Beijerinck discovered viruses, gave the concept of viruses, and from there the ultra microscopic structures and entities, the organisms, were studied. In 1929, Alexander Fleming for the first time discovered the antibiotics, which were not there earlier. Penicillin is the first antibiotic. And in 1977, Carl Oss discovered the archaic bacteria. And in 1983, HIV virus was discovered by Montagnier. And in 1995, the first complete genome sequencing was done by Craig Venter. So these are the main events in microbiology, and there are many more events. And for this class, and for the purpose of this class, I've only included these following main events. And let us study some of the biggest contributors to the field of microbiology. As I mentioned, microscope is the instrument which has opened up a new world called microbial world. And microbiology started only with the invention of the microscope, which was done by Jensen. And you are seeing the image of the Jensen microscope on the screen. And the microscope was later made popular by Robert Hooke and Leeuwenhoek. Leeuwenhoek was a Dutch businessman and the scientist in the golden age of Dutch science and technology, a largely self-taught man, commonly known as the father of microbiology. For the first time studied the microorganisms. He is the first one to see bacteria under microscope. Louis Pasteur, as I mentioned earlier, is the one who is responsible for proving biogenesis. That is, life is possible only from the pre-existing life. He could prove that with the help of his experiment using swan neck flask, which is very, very famous. You are seeing the swan neck flask on the screen there. During mid and late 19th century, Louis Pasteur demonstrated that the microorganisms cause disease and discovered how to make vaccines from weakened and attenuated microbes. He developed the earliest vaccines against fowl cholera, anthrax, and rabies. In fact, Louis Pasteur is known for developing the vaccine against rabies. The other two contributions of Louis Pasteur are, one is called Pasteur effect, the other one is called pasteurization. The realization that specific organisms were involved in fermentation was further supported by Pasteur's studies on butyric acid fermentation. He also proposed the Pasteur effect. Pasteurization is used worldwide nowadays for sterilization for sterilization of milk and many other food products, especially sterilization of milk, is done by pasteurization, which is done by heating the milk. German physicist Robert Koch was awarded with Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 1905, mainly for his discoveries in relation to tuberculosis. He also studied cholera, anthrax. Besides tuberculosis, Koch and his team developed methods for studying bacteria. So the foundation for bacteriological studies were put by Robert Koch, which are known as Koch postulates. Coming to the next great scientist or next great microbiologist, that is Edward Jenner, who is responsible for developing the vaccine. And it was a very interesting story or incident how he developed vaccine for smallpox. This cartoon depicts the events how the vaccine, the very first vaccine, was developed. In fact, we all know very well the importance of vaccine when recently vaccine against coronavirus was developed. And Alexander Fleming is known for the development of the very first antibiotic penicillin. He also is known for the discovery of an enzyme called lysozyme. It is an enzyme produced by saliva and tears. Even lysozyme is also known for having antiseptic properties. In this cartoon, you are able to see the methods by which Alexander Fleming for the first time discovered the very first antibiotic penicillin. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please open the description box to find out the details about this video. We will meet again in the next video with some other topic. Thank you very much.